Welcome to Hidden Business Risk. I'm Dan Butler. Today, a short, sharp story that will make you want to check your domain dashboard immediately. Imagine this. Your main customer support email stops getting replies. The website shows a valid lock icon, but customers can't log in to your portal. Meanwhile, refunds and support invoices start piling up. 2 weeks later, you discover your corporate domain expired. Someone else re-registered it, reissued TLS certificates, intercepted password resets, and used support channels to redirect a small reserve account. Revenue outage, brand damage, and weeks of legal wrangling. That's our micro case.
That hits hard because it feels avoidable. Speaking calmly, domain ownership isn't sexy until you lose it. What looks like a small lapse, an expired registrar payment, a whois on a personal email, becomes evidence in disputes. I've seen teams scramble and then realize they lack purchase receipts or transfer logs. Those gaps make recovery lengthy and expensive.
On the ops side, it's all about hidden dependencies. A domain is rarely just a website. It's email routing, SSO, API whitelists, OAuth callbacks. Reissuing certificates without controlling DNS is how attackers pivot to intercepting password resets. The technical chain is short and brittle. One forgotten renewal and a lot of systems suddenly trust the wrong owner.
Let's name this problem domain and certificate drift. In plain terms, ownership contact entropy, registrar/account drift, DNS misconfigurations, expiring or wildcard certificates, and cross-system dependencies that nobody's tracking. Quick definition so listeners know the frame.
Exactly. Ownership contact entropy means the official contact for a domain is an old colleague or a personal Gmail, not a company-controlled mailbox. Registrar drift is when control moves between employees or vendors without clear records. Those facts create legal friction when you try to prove continuity of ownership.
And from the technical list, wildcard certificates, unattended certificate authorities, delegated DNS zones to third parties, any of those can obscure where the real control lives. They compound when teams assume something works and never verify it.
Okay, let's talk dollars. If your storefront can't process payments for a week because of a domain outage, that's lost revenue. But it's also support labor, charge acts, and trust erosion. I'll walk through the math and prioritization heuristics so listeners know what to inventory first. Start by ranking assets by transactional value and customer touch. Ask which domains handle payments, host APIs, or send billing emails. Those are high-dollar risk. For a small business, a single merchant flow outage can cost tens of thousands in a week if it's the main revenue channel. Add the cost of support hours, count the people time, and the intangible cost of customer trust. A practical heuristic. Multiply average daily revenue through the domain by expected outage days, then add estimated support and remediation costs. Second, look at recovery friction. If control is through a vendor account with poor record keeping, recovery time multiplies. So prioritize domains by both dollar exposure and friction to recover. Top of the list, payment domains, auth domains, SSO, OAuth, customer notification domains, billing, support, and any domain with delegated API callbacks.
From a legal perspective, collect and preserve evidence before you touch things. Proof of purchase, credit card receipts tied to the registrar account, domain registration emails, change logs, these matter. If there's a dispute, being able to show continuous use and payment is often half the battle. And very important, document who had access and when. Internal audit trails matter in registrar disputes. 2 practical flags non-lawyers can spot. First, if whois lists a personal email or a former employee, that's a red flag. Second, if transfer lock is off, or you don't know whether a domain has a transfer lock, that's a control gap. Also note trademark overlap. If a competitor suddenly registers a confusingly similar domain, preserve evidence of your brand use and registration dates. When you contact registrars or partners, be conservative in language. Say you are the authorized representative and need to preserve control. Request logs and escalation paths politely but firmly. Avoid accusatory emails that might provoke resistance. And repeat after me. This is not legal advice. Call counsel if ownership materially impacts contracts or large sums.
On the technical fixes that operations teams can do this week, build a registrar inventory first. List every domain, registrar, account email, and payment method. Next, verify who is contact and change any personal emails to a company-controlled distribution mailbox. Then enable registrar MFA and set transfer lock where available. These are low-friction moves that dramatically reduce takeover risk. For certificates, if you have wildcard certs or long-lived certs not in an automated pipeline, schedule them for automation or short-term renewal cycles. Use certificate monitoring to alert on expiration. And for DNS, keep delegated zones minimal. If a vendor needs DNS control, use subdomains with clear TTLs and documented rollback steps rather than handing over the parent zone.
Good. Let's bring this home with triage. One quick list. Pick the top 3 highest risk items you should inventory this week and assign owners. We'll call out exact outreach scripts you can use.
Item 1. Payment off domain. The domain used for checkout and payment callbacks. Owner, head of finance, or payments. Outreach script starter. Hello, I'm confirming ownership and registrar details for our payment domain to ensure continuity of service. Please send the registration confirmation, invoice number, and the account email on file. Keep a copy of the response.
Item 2. Auth and SSO domain. Domains that handle single sign-on or identity callbacks. Owner, IT, or ops lead. Outreach script starter. Hi, requesting registrar account contact email, transfer lock status, and any delegated DNS records for our auth domain. Also confirm whether MFA is enabled on the registrar account.
Item 3. Customer notification domains. Billing, support, and notification emails. Owner, head of customer success. Outreach script. We're doing a continuity check to confirm registrar and certificate renewal arrangements for our notification domains. Please forward the renewal schedule and who has access to the registrar account.
When you get replies, preserve the email chain and receipts. If anything looks inconsistent, different owner names, missing invoices, flag it and pause further changes. Remember the mitigation. Week 1 is inventory and evidence capture only.
Now the practical 30-day containment sprint. Organize week by week so listeners can run it without becoming full-time domain admins. Week 1, inventory and evidence capture. Week 2, conservative contact updates and locking. Week 3, certificate automation and scheduled renewals. I'll walk through the week-by-week bullets. Week 1 checklist. Compile a spreadsheet. Domain, registrar, account email, payment method, expiry date, which systems depend on it, payments, SSO, APIs, and where invoices are stored. Do not change anything yet. Take screenshots of whois, registrar dashboards, and any renewal emails. That preserves a snapshot you can use if a dispute arises.
Week 2. Conservative updates. Change personal whois emails to a company-controlled distribution mailbox. Enable MFA on registrar accounts. Turn on transfer lock. And set calendar reminders for renewals. If you're delegating DNS, implement subdomain delegation where possible, and record TTLs and rollback steps. Test changes in a controlled window, outside peak hours, and have an undo plan ready.
Week 2 also includes legal preservation. Save all invoices and purchase confirmations to a central, immutable folder. If you find irregularities, stop and escalate. Get counsel if ownership affects key contracts or large balances. Use conservative language in outreach. Request logs and escalate through registrar support channels rather than public posts that could complicate negotiations.
Week 3. Automation and verification. Move certificates into an automated pipeline or set short-term monitored renewals. Configure certificate monitoring to alert weeks before expiry. Run an email and SAML smoke test. Send password resets, simulate OAuth flows, confirm receipt and successful logins. If you use third-party vendors, confirm their control boundaries in writing.
Also, keep an undo checklist next to each owner on the spreadsheet. Exact steps to revert DNS changes, contact numbers for registrars, and the time windows you tested. This reduces the chance of accidental outages during remediation.
Quick-fire scenarios and exact next moves. 3 short examples so you can act fast.
Scenario 1. Whois is a personal Gmail that bounces and registrar email is invalid. Next move. Preserve existing data, then open a registrar support ticket asking to reset the account via proof of purchase. Don't post credentials publicly. Prepare invoice and payment proof first.
Scenario 2. Wildcard certificate expires in the middle of a product launch. Next move. If you have certificate automation, trigger an emergency renewal. If not, schedule a short maintenance window and switch to a temporary domain or redirect to a hosted status page while you fix certs. Preserve logs and notify customers honestly. Transparency reduces churn.
Scenario 3. Domain transfer appears with contested ownership. Next move, stop any forced changes, preserve all communication, and call counsel. Also ask the registrar for transfer logs and a hold on the domain while you gather proof. This is where the record keeping from week 1 pays off.
Before we wrap, a quick legal checklist you can apply now. Preserve invoices, capture Whois screenshots, document usage of the domain in commerce, and collect any communications with registrars and vendors. If in doubt, pause and call counsel. These steps won't break your services, and they give you leverage if things go sideways.
And a quick tech checklist, registrar inventory, company-controlled contact emails, MFA on accounts, transfer lock enabled, cert monitoring in place, and a rollback plan for every DNS change. Those 6 items will reduce most common takeover vectors.
All right, recap fast. Domain and certificate drift is a slow compounding risk that can trigger immediate revenue and reputation damage. Inventory first, preserve evidence, apply conservative locks and MFA, automate certificates where possible, and run a measured 30-day sprint. We put a domain safety kit and a detailed 30-day containment sprint with scripts and checklists at hiddenbusinessrisk.com.
A final legal caveat. This episode is guidance, not legal advice. If you face contested ownership or material financial exposure, pause and consult counsel so you don't inadvertently worsen the dispute.
And if you want a practical jumpstart, use a short maintenance window to test smoke flows after each change, and always keep a documented undo plan. Small actions done deliberately stop big failures.
That's it for today's briefing. Go to hiddenbusinessrisk.com to download the domain safety kit and a 30-day containment sprint. Exact scripts, spreadsheets, and checklists you can hand to your teams. Take 20 minutes this week to run the inventory. It's a small time investment that stops a big, expensive surprise.